now the Trump organization wants to criminalize homelessness. And I'll show just a brief clip of signing that executive order last week. But the thing I keep going back to is you can't heal in handcuffs, right? We can't heal mental illness, drug addiction, let alone the economic factors that are involved in homelessness. So let me just play this short clip, and then I have some statistics I'd like to share.
President Trump has signed a new executive order aimed at cracking down on homeless encampments. KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos live in downtown LA with the details. Annie Rose, good morning.
Hi, Frank. Good morning to you. Yeah, that new executive order from the president aimed at making it easier for cities and states across the country to remove homeless people from the streets. We want to get straight to that language of the order from the White House so you can see a little bit of it for yourself. It says it is targeted at removing, quote, vagrant individuals from our streets and redirects federal funds towards programs that tackle substance abuse. This order seeking to shift federal grant funding to states and cities that enforce prohibitions on urban camping, enforce prohibitions on drug use, and adopt policies allowing people with serious mental illnesses or substance abuse disorders to be forced into treatment. The governor responding to Trump's new executive order, saying it is more focused on creating distracting headlines than producing a positive impact. About a year ago, Newsom issued an order encouraging cities in the state to dismantle homeless encampments, recently criticizing California cities and counties for not doing enough on this issue.
I'm not interested in funding failure anymore. I'm not. I won't. Time to do your job. People are dying on their watch, Look at these encampments. They're a disgrace. They've been there years and years and years and years. I've heard that same rhetoric for years. People are dying.
Back in May, the body of a mother and Army veteran was found at a homeless encampment. Her death later ruled an accident due to drug use. 46-year-old Lucrecia Macias Barajas was found dead alongside the body of a man inside a sidewalk tent in the Westlake district near downtown LA. Neighbors said at least one of the bodies found in the tent had been partially eaten by dogs.
Oh. Well, if they can not arrest people or make it a crime, but if they can have, licensed social workers or people who can talk to other drug addicts that are already healed, talk to these people and get them into safe places off the streets, into centers. And, while they're still using drugs, they're in a building and they're safe. And it's, I don't want to say a prison, but locked and secure, that they will get the help they need. And however long that takes, I don't think that's such a bad thing, but they shouldn't be criminalized for that.
But you also have to think too, like a lot of these centers and like rehab clinics are severely underfunded itself.
Right.
So like, where are they gonna put all these people without proper care, proper amenities, like anything to help them? That's the problem.
Yeah, let me just talk briefly about what this EO really does, right? So it encourages the forced hospitalization for the unhoused, mentally ill, or addicted. It defunds the housing first and harm reduction programs that are already in place. It prioritizes grants for cities that criminalize camping, loitering, and drug use. It pushes surveillance and tracking over treatment, and it embeds the idea that poor equals dangerous equals disposable. So for me, this people on the street, for the most part, they don't choose to be on the streets. I know we've heard some people would prefer to be there. For the most part, people do not want to be on the streets. Many are veterans, they're survivors, they're people fleeing abuse, they're people completely priced out of housing by inflation. This policy does not meet them with care. It meets them with cages, in my mind. We need real solutions We don't need, I'm all for getting rid of these encampments. I agree. It's dangerous. We need to get rid of the drugs. We need to find real solutions. Why is that so difficult for us to find real solutions for people?
Because they profit on prison systems in this country.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why.
I think that's what we're going to see. I just, I can't prove this. This is just my opinion, but I think we're going to see these people put in more encampment type facilities. So, other thoughts? It's a tough one, but every community is being affected by all of these policies.
Well, I mean, the whole drug issue is a tough one. I have a friend who's a cop, and he had the same couple 5 times that he's had to administer Narcan to them. And for me, and this is going to sound horrible, and people can beat me up over it, but how many more times do you revive them? I mean, at this point, they're going to keep going back and doing the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. They've been to rehab. The police get them. They put them in the hospital. They give them the Narcan. They put them in an ambulance. They go to the hospital. They get out, and they do the same thing again. I mean, if we can't rehab them, I don't know what to do. I mean, we can't save.
It's the same philosophy that you can't give up on anybody. Everybody is important. And
Right.
if they can revive a because if they really want to pass on, they will one day.
But that system is broken. So we take these people, the police get them, they revive them, they keep them alive, they get into the hospital, they have whatever it is, it's 24-hour, 48-hour stay. But now our hospital system is shrinking. And now these people don't have Medicare or Medicaid or any kind of insurance, and it's going to get smaller and smaller. So it's going to get worse and worse.
This is a rich country.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Yeah, Marley.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think in our country, we view people who have addictions as if they have control over it.
Right.
There's a lot of reasons why people go to drugs and alcohol, and a lot of the times that they have PTSD, some type of trauma in their life, and they're suppressing that.
Right.
So they can get out of that trauma. When they do that, they become addicted. So I feel like you have to always approach these issues from the root. And what is the root? Trauma, like lack of mental health providers, creating programs where they slowly start to be able to withdraw, and they're getting the help that they need, the mental help. It's hard to even become recovered if you're homeless. Like, you need a safe place to go to. You need the basic essentials: food, shelter, water, and then we help them with their mind and their body.
Thank you, Marley. That's
like saying how many times they're going to help. You're going to help as much as possible, because they really don't want to be doing that.
That's right. We have to get to the root of the problem. And that's why Housing First is beginning to be successful, because they were getting people into housing and then dealing with the addictions. And we, like I said earlier, we don't deal with the root of problems. We don't deal with, a lot of people start using because they can't afford housing, so they're out on the street. Then they begin to self-medicate as well.
Homeless because they making us have a baby that our father impregnated us with, and you trying to deal with stuff like that. It's a whole bunch of reasons people are homeless.
Yeah. Well, and also
Right. And don't misunderstand what I was saying, Marley. It's more of, yes, we're going to help them, but our system is what, like Einstein said, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's the definition of insanity.
Well, again, we have enough money in this country to fix this problem. If they weren't trying to give all this money to people that don't need no money, we could solve the problem at the bottom.
That's a better question. Why doesn't one of these people want to solve that problem, like a Musk or someone who has the money? They could solve it.
They don't have money.
Well, can I answer that?
Yes.
The reason why they do not want to, because they make money off of it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
More money.
They making money off of this. And people will say, well, how are they making money? They're making money because most of them pushing these drugs. These young boys get it from them. That's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
They don't have the big drug dealers that's running. It's trickled down. And when people wake up and realize that, and Marley, you were spot on because you took exactly what I was going to say. You got to deal with their bodies first. Then their mind will follow. Because once their bodies can have a good meal, have a roof over their head, and I want you guys to close your eyes and think about that. Think about you not having a roof over your head. And you're in a piece of tent, sleeping on the ground where you have rats, roaches, and everything else crawling around you and maybe over you. You got to deal with their bodies first. Then you deal with their mind because their mind will follow. And along that, you have to feed them. These people are not eating. Half of them are digging in the garbage. I could speak to it because I had a sibling that went through it. It's not about the drug. It's about hope that they've lost.
Right.
It's about that fate they can't. So if it takes 777 times to come and pick them up, I'm there. I'm going to do it. But when it goes to the police station, it's a revolving door.
And that
They're
was
just
my
doing
point.
their jobs. And when you start doing your job, then that means you forgot the humanity. I yield my time.
Thank you, Honest. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's why this is yet another community that we have to fight for and speak up about.
Can I ask August how your sibling is now?
Well, we were able to get them out of that situation, brought them up from Florida because they were in a camp down there, brought them up and dealt with them. So I'm speaking on it. Body first. Give them a good shower because they're not showering out there. Giving them new clothes, feeding them. So how they're doing? Much better. They feel wanted. They feel like someone cares and they feel like they're back in society.
100%.
Congratulations.
One of the big things we've lost in this country is empathy.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, pride takes over. Don't think that we knew. We had no clue because they didn't want you to know because of pride. They were so busy dealing with their pride, they didn't want anybody to know. And that's what happens to most of us because we're so self-centered on pride. We don't want to have that shame. We got to check ourselves because guess what, guys? We're wrecking ourselves because we're not thinking about each other.
And we're all flawed.